Really appreciate it. Very nice.
Yes.
Mandan, Pittsburgh Mandan.
Oh, okay.
There's a law firm there.
Okay, as well.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I really appreciate the info. I believe that it ought to be, in my opinion, in all of these wind turbines.
Are you there, Mr. Hondo? Andrew, you're on also.
And one of the things I was a lawyer for the one. And the other way they could do it, they could do height. Is, 1.1 or 1,000 feet. So that way if you have a small lower turbine.
But 2.5 times is not far enough away.
Okay, it's 3 o'clock. We'll call the meeting in order. It's January 27, 2022, the Stark County Planning and Zoning. First of all, we have the approve of the minutes from last meeting, which would have been December 21st, 2021. I guess I should do a roll call first. We got everybody's present. We got 4 on the phone. Is Commissioner Dressler, Kuntz, Larson, and Richards are on the phone. The rest are all present. So I'd make a motion to that. There's actually 2 sets of the minutes, because the first one that was that emailed out, there is an incorrect spelling on a name that testified during one of the public hearings. So that was corrected in the second minutes that was sent out.
To approve the minutes?
What's that?
You did, you're not
Yeah.
doing roll call, or you are?
Okay, there's a motion to approve the minutes then? Is that from Sue there? Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have the item on the agenda is a public hearing for RZ 01-22 for Brooks Hondel. Is requesting rezoning from agriculture to agricultural residential on a parcel located in the southwest quarter of Section 35, Township 139 North, Range 97 West, which is an address of 11588 42nd Street Southwest, and it contains approximately 15 acres. Mr. Hondel, are you on the phone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You just kind of briefly tell what you have planned then for this change?
I've got the 15 acres that's on that corner parcel. I have Southwest Water reserve tap that's on that location. It's going to be for a residential home for a permanent residency. I'll be on that acreage.
Okay. Is there any questions from the board for Mr. Hondel? If not, then I'll look for recommendations from Mr. Josephson on this. Oh, I suppose I should open the public hearing at first. Anybody from the public have any comment on this request, change of rezoning? Anybody from the public have any comment on this? Anybody from the public have any comment on Mr. Hondel's request for mag to agriculture residential rezoning? Hearing no comment, then I'll close the public hearing. I'll ask for recommendations from Mr. Josephson.
Thank you, Chairman Franchuk. Commissioner Steve Josephson, County Planner. You have before you a request to rezone a piece of property from agriculture to agricultural residential to 15-acre piece. The applicant wishes to live on that property. Staff recommends approval subject to the findings in the staff report, and I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions for Mr. Josephson? Any questions? If not, I'll look for a motion to approve or deny this request.
I'd move to approve.
A motion to approve by Commissioner Soboluk. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second by Commissioner Walla. Okay, we'll do roll call vote. Commissioner Soboluk,
Aye.
Commissioner Walla,
Aye.
Commissioner Dressler,
Aye.
Commissioner Freilich,
Aye.
Commissioner Kunz,
Aye.
Commissioner Larson,
Aye.
Commissioner Richards,
Aye.
Commissioner Arthod.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye, motion carries. Okay, this will move on to our county commission meeting on February 1st then, and that will be presented before the county commission then. Do you have any questions, Mr. Hondo?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have a public hearing for RZ 0-02-22 for Jesse and Karen Pavlicek are requesting a rezoning from ag to agriculture residential on a parcel located in the northeast quarter of Section 4, Township 140 North, Range 97 West, containing approximately 12.06 acres. Anyone you want to step forward and just kind of state what you have planned for this? Why you're requesting this?
Hi,
No?
Hi.
You state your name.
my name is Karen.
Come closer to the mic, please.
My name is Karen,
Okay.
and we just want to rezone the land so that we can build a house.
Okay. Any questions for the applicant?
Access, I identified all that stuff. Oh, where's it at?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Access and water and all of that.
Yes, we're planning on drilling a well, and we have access to electricity. We'll get that in.
Road access.
Yes, we have a road already on there.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions for them? Okay. Then I'll open the public hearing. Anybody have any comment on for or against this request for rezoning from ag to ag residential? Anybody have any comment for or against this request? Anybody have any comment for or against this request rezoning? Hearing no comment on that, I'll close the public hearing and ask for a recommendation from Mr. Josephson.
Thank you, Chairman Franchuk. Steve Josephson, County Planner. You have before you a request to rezone 12.01 acres from agriculture to agricultural residential. Staff's recommendation is approval subject to the findings in the staff report, and I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
You may have any questions for Mr. Josephson? Not hearing any, no questions from them. Mr. Joseph, I look for a motion to approve this request. And
Mr. Chair, I will move that we approve RZ 02-22.
And I'll second that.
motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call vote then. Commissioner Freilich,
Aye.
Commissioner Arthod,
Aye.
Commissioner Dressler,
Aye.
Commissioner Kunz, Commissioner Larson,
Aye.
Commissioner Richards,
Aye.
Commissioner Sobeluk,
Aye.
Commissioner Walla.
Aye.
The chair all votes aye. The motion carries. Then this will go before our meeting on County Commission on February 1st. That starts at 8 in the morning. Okay, any questions or? Okay, thank you. Next we'll go to item number 4 on our agenda. It is CTA 03-21, a proposed amendments to Article 2, Rules and Definitions, and Article 6, additions and provisions regarding wind energy facilities and wind turbines. This item was tabled at the December Planning and Zoning meeting after the public hearing was closed. On that, I guess, the state's attorney, Amanda Engelstead, is unable to attend. She's, because of medical reasons, and she requested that this be tabled till next month because she is unable to hear and she has some comment or input on this. And I guess being the moratorium is in effect yet too, so I mean, that would, any other discussion?
I understand with Amanda, I wish she would have called on because, I mean, we worked really hard on this so we could get it done and could bring it up to the board. And we have brought it forward and, I mean, we got done in little under 3 months, what they thought would take us 6 months. So, I mean, everybody's had the ordinance to look it over. And I definitely still think we need to, have the public hearing today to, whichever way it turns out to be tabled or not, again, we still need to have the public hearing to listen to the people on it.
And I guess last month was the public hearing on this, so it wasn't scheduled for another public hearing on it. And I really would, without legal counselors to advise on some things, I don't think we should move forward with this. So guess I'm looking for a motion to table this till our February meeting.
I'd so move to table this until we have legal counsel present.
What, oh,
Yes,
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, this is Byron Richard. I make a motion that we table this till we do have our state's attorney there to
okay.
express her opinions.
Commissioner Sobeluk already did, so you want to second that then, or?
And I'll second it.
Okay, okay. Any other discussion? Okay, look to table that then. I'll do a roll call vote then. Commissioner Sobeluk,
Aye.
Commissioner Richards,
Aye.
Commissioner Arthod,
no,
Commissioner Dressler,
Aye.
Commissioner Freilich,
Aye.
Commissioner Kuntz,
Aye.
Commissioner Larson,
Aye.
and Commissioner Walla.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Motion carries. Will be tabled till next month. Okay. Mr. Joseph, is there anything else for the planning items? Okay,
are you opening any comments, or if it's not a public hearing, any comments at least from the public on this, or not?
guess it's up to the board if they want to make comments on it. I guess it wasn't scheduled for a public hearing, but I mean, if you have, so I said if the board feels that we should have open up for comments, I guess that's up to the board.
I just feel like some people came to make comments. I
I
just,
understand that. I apologize, but being out her state's not here and she's out with COVID, I guess it was kind of a sudden thing, so.
Would it be prudent for Steve to go through some of his proposed changes at this time?
You can do that, yes.
And just to give us some extra time to look at what he's, what him and I also helped him with these, so I thought maybe we could at least talk about some of his recommendations at this time.
It could be just, Mr. Josephson, do you want to do that, or?
Sure. Chairman Franchuk, Commissioner Steve Josephson, County Planner. I did meet with Commissioner Dressler and also with Mr. Stuber, and we sat down, went over the ordinance after the December 21st meeting. Most of my comments are more administrative, in terms of review. There's some existing language in there that was in there that I just think needs to be struck, and there was some proposed language that I just think needs to be changed. Just understanding that, there's, I'm going to submit this again for the next meeting. There is a current
Interrupting, but Mr. Josephson, could you be in front of a mic?
I am in front of a mic.
Maybe pull it over closer to you,
Okay.
Steve.
All right, I'll do
If
this.
you'd feel better, I can scoot away from you.
That's okay. This is for your protection, so.
I
Okay.
trust you. You're good.
Okay. Okay, so there is currently a the current language in there about which is 619.1 regulatory framework. There is some language in there that talks about an existing structure can't preclude the installation of a wind energy facility or part of it, and there are also some things about nonconformities in there. The staff perspective is that this entire provision should just be deleted. I'm not certain why it's in there, but there is nothing else in the code. There's a whole part of the code that section 3.4 that addresses nonconformity. So staff recommendation is just to strike that portion of the code. There was another recommendation about requiring a bond, requiring a cash or surety bond as part of the conditional use application. There aren't any other conditional use applications that require any bonding or cash surety. If this is meant to get more of a financial commitment from whoever the applicant is, what I would recommend is looking at things like increasing the current fee for review of a conditional use permit for a wind energy permit. I know there's one county that'll do things like they'll charge them a certain amount per turbine that they're proposing, but usually a bond is something that's associated with keeping a promise, and just the actual application for this, it's a request for an entitlement, and nothing is granted. The bonding would occur as a condition, and would occur between the process of it being approved and getting any building permits. Staff had also looked at the applicants had also put in something saying about a 5 mile. No, wait a second. Here's the next one. Staff is also proposing adding the following application requirements: that an applicant be required to submit a written statement addressing how the proposed wind energy facility is consistent with the Stark County Comprehensive Plan, as well as the purpose and intent of the Stark County zoning ordinance, and also that they submit a written summary of how the proposal is actually going to be consistent with the state citing requirements. And there's a number of things that it's located that the facility is not, at a minimum, is not located in an exclusion area, is not located in an avoidance area, and it meets the state's minimum requirements. Just one thing to clarify about notice, okay? Here, let me go back and look at this because I was going to jump ahead.
Mr. Josephson, can you say where you're at?
I am on page 2. I'm on page 2, and it will start with the first paragraph in 619.3. Okay. So there was a proposed change. There were a couple proposed changes in there. One was about a 5 mile notice area, and let me just explain how notice is done currently for public hearings. For most applications like rezonings or a conditional use permit, there's a 200-foot mailing to adjacent property owners from that site. And what the county does is we're the ones who send the certified letters out. We generate the letter. You know, we address them, we post them, we put the return form on there, and then we mail it out. And that's our way of confirming that a complete mail out has been done to, you know, to those people. I would like to see some language in here that basically puts all of that on the applicant, and propose some language in here that said that the applicant shall be responsible for mailing out certified notice letters to property owners within 5 miles of the proposed wind energy facility perimeter. That's if that goes forward. I think it's excessive, but I also, having talked to Commissioner Dressler, understand why that language was put in there. The county will provide a copy of the property owner notice letter to be sent out by certified mail at least 2 weeks prior to the scheduled public hearing. The applicant shall submit to the county proof of the certified letter mailing, a list of property owners within 5 miles, and a signed statement with a notary seal certifying all property owners within 5 miles of the request have been noticed. There simply just isn't enough staff time to address something to every property owner. So this would actually put it on the applicant. They would do the notice. You know, they would pay up front, and then they would give us something saying, yes, we did this. There was some other language in here that proposed that the current language said that there'll be a public hearing from being changed from maybe held within a certain number of days to shall be held. That's within 45 days of the receipt of the application. Staff is recommending going back to May, and the reason is this is not only will staff be reviewing it and looking for additional information, but if we send it out to consultants to look at, it may take them more time to get that. By the way, any consultants that review any conditional use permits or so on, the applicant is responsible for paying for that. And the county commission, the Planning and Zoning Commission, may decide they need more than that 45 days to review it and make a decision on it. So that's why staff is proposing changing that back from shall to may. Okay. There is currently language in there that says if the Planning and Zoning Commission finds the applicant for the wind energy facility siting permit has satisfied all applicable requirements, it shall recommend approval to the county commission. And staff is recommending striking that because this is a conditional use permit. And while there may be certain factors that you have to meet, as part of that, you also have to meet the requirements of the conditional use permit as found in section 8.3, which that's where you start getting into issues of compatibility. Can this actually be served? And can actually any services be brought to it? Is there going to be any harm to surrounding areas? So as far as staff is concerned, that whole paragraph should just be struck. As I said, this is a conditional use permit and would be subject to those findings, as well as whether or not they met the other technical requirements under that chapter. Let's see here.
Steve,
Yes, go ahead.
just
Sir.
where you're at, just kind of keep us in the loop, please.
Okay. Oh, you mean what page?
Yeah,
I'm
page.
sorry. That was on page 3.
Thank you.
That was on page 3, and that pretty much takes up all of the page. The first part, top of the page, was about requiring them to be responsible for the mail out if the 5 mile mail out is, if.
Josephson, you were on 2. You're saying 2. This was on page 2.
Okay. Yeah, then you flip over to page 3.
Okay.
2 and 3 addresses the mail out, and then 3 addresses the thing about striking the existing language. 3 and 4 about the striking the existing language. Okay, there was, all right, on page 4.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. On page 4, there was language in, yeah.
You're reading off the right document.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
so the staff recommendation document is the one he's reading off of. The last page of the last.
That's all in black and white.
one that was emailed out last Friday.
Okay, so for everybody, and the copy that you have is not the one that Steve's going off of. So we'll try to, the one that was in the packet is now different.
Yeah, well, this is an additional piece.
May I be heard as a point of personal privilege for a moment in regards to how we're receiving this information?
Just a second, Ms. Dressler, go ahead.
Sorry, what I would recommend for the next meeting is that you probably take the copy that we had made originally, and I believe it's in blue right now, with the changes, maybe use a different color and put
Okay.
those changes over the top of ours so we can see your specific changes, because I've gone through this in great detail with you, but I was also, having trouble just figuring out where you were trying to take stuff out and put stuff in. So it would be super helpful if you would just go ahead and mark it up, using Word and
Okay.
edit your edits right over the top of ours so we can see it in a different color so we know what's yours and what's ours. That would probably help a lot.
I would concur with Commissioner Dressler on that. I mean, we can go forward, but I think there is confusion. And I did send this out by email last week, and I can just go ahead and take that copy and just add in, and make comments and so on, saying that these were some comments part of staff review.
In a different color
In
without.
a different
yes.
color, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go with track changes. There's a way to, it's kind of a tricky thing, but but I've done it a few times, so.
Because this one wasn't in our packet, but so was this one today.
Right. Yeah, that's right, because we weren't certain of what action was going to happen today, so.
Okay.
So I'm not going to add anything. I'll just go ahead and do what, if it suits the board, I'll just go ahead and do what Commissioner Dressler suggested and get that out to everybody to review. So you'll see, this is what the current language was. This is what, well, you can see that from track changes, and then just add in there in a different color or notation. This is part of the staff review.
Yes.
Okay, does that work for everyone?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Commissioner Dressler, do you have something else to add, or?
No, I think that would be wonderful. Then we can discuss it next meeting. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in there. We just kind of got to figure out our language a little bit better.
Okay. Any other discussion then?
I have some from the public.
That's really, I know, open here. What, did you have some comment on the ordinance, or?
I have comments on the whole process here, and,
It's not a public hearing, so.
well,
Well, I think that we did this wrong. I was not even notified that everybody else, or some people were notified this was getting tabled. I guess as part of the whole board. I told a lot of people that they were going to be able to talk today.
It was never scheduled as a public hearing. The
But
public hearing was
I'm-
last month.
Well, then let me ask, I'm sorry, sir, before you can begin, would you want the next
As a
meeting to
public
be,
hearing, the
to
next
be
meeting,
noticed
yeah.
as a public hearing?
We can do that next month. if
Yeah,
you
we can
want.
do that for next month. We can just, we can schedule that and actually announce it as a public hearing. So it would be, I would have to talk to the state's attorney. Is this reopening the old public hearing? Is this opening a new public hearing? I just want to get some guidance from her on what exactly the public hearing will be. But yeah, I think I think if it's going to get tabled till next month, which it is, and it's going to be on the agenda, may as well publish it in the paper as a public hearing.
Sir, Dickinson Press said it was a public hearing.
Yep. Thank you.
and,
Yep.
and
If
even
you
if it
read-
isn't a public hearing, I think anyone from the public has a right to speak and present whatever they want. I'm not going to discuss any of the details like was done by staff, but when I'm recognized, I do have an idea and some suggestions as to how to make this so it will work better next time, if I'm allowed to speak, Mr. Chairman.
Was it advertised as a public hearing, Steve, or?
It was actually, the notice said that, we had two where it actually said public hearing, those were the two rezonings, and then under that, it said it was a notice that this meeting, that this was gonna be brought up, it had been tabled after the public hearing had been closed, and that's the language. That's the language that appeared in the Dickinson Press.
Yes, the issue I have is with our legal counsel isn't here to go forward with anything like that. I guess I'd just wait till next month and have a public hearing then.
It says, right,
Read the press, what the press wrote, so we can determine if
I
it's
do,
public
Dean,
meeting or
I do
not.
think that you're following protocol.
I think we can go ahead with that as a public hearing next
I
time, because I
think
think
we-
legal counsel is not here, and I guess I don't want to move forward with a public hearing if we don't have legal counsel here.
I don't care if it's a public hearing or not. May I be heard in regards just that, as to what should happen before the next meeting so we don't have the confusion we had today? May I be heard?
Go ahead with that comment.
Thank you. My name is Lynn Bowie. I deal with a lot of wind towers throughout the state, and the PSC recently took down or reordered a company to take down a wind tower because it was too close to a residence and they hadn't followed the order. What I would suggest in regards to next meeting, and I came all the way from Bismarck, Mandan for this meeting, I am presently looking at my computer, Planning and Zoning Meeting Agenda. I got online and attempted to see the agenda for here, and it has 221. I see nowhere online where the public has the ability to link into the agenda or any of the items provided in addition. So I would suggest that at least a week before the next meeting, and by the way, in case the public is listening to this, what is the date of the next meeting?
I'll have to look. 27th of February.
Okay, so February 27th, I would suggest, on or before February 20th, at the minimum, a week before that.
But it's not the.
Oh, 27th is Sunday. It is the February 24th at 3 o'clock at the courthouse
Okay.
here.
All right, I would respectfully suggest that staff should have updated your website so that we can see not only the agenda, but it also has links to whatever documents are going to be reviewed or discussed a week before that meeting. I would also suggest that we were all very confused by the reading of this today without reference to paragraph numbers, and what should be done, in my view, is that if there's going to be staff recommendations and he's going to go line by line, section by section, that should be in writing a week before so that the public has an opportunity to see the agenda, see the documents, and whatever staff recommendations are. That should be done automatically. And it should be in writing and provided and available online, should the any documents that are provided to the committee members. And that should be automatic. In regards to being able to speak at a public hearing, I would only suggest that it doesn't matter whether it's a public hearing or not, even if you have at the end the good of the order, members of the public should at all times be able to address public officials and to discuss whatever they want. You could certainly put time limits and things like that, but you shouldn't have to either be on the agenda, or if somebody wants to talk about an item, they should not be shut down, especially after you allowed staff 10 minutes to discuss in a meandering fashion what his recommendations are. It seems to me the public should have a right to respond. I look forward to being here on February 24th, and I look forward a week before finding it online. I do note that in regards to some documents relating to a CUP, Mr. Josephson was very kind to get me those documents and email them to me. But I do think that, and I would appreciate when the packet goes to the commissioners that I receive the same, if that's possible. But this is a public issue, and the people from the Stark County should have access to the same things that those of us have, and we shouldn't have to fight to get it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your comment. Okay. Any other discussion from the board? Anything else, Mr. Josephson? I'll look for a motion to adjourn then.
So Second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Bye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. We're adjourned.